my name is Lindy Sherries and I used to be a Sangoma. In this channel, I talk about everything, guys. Abokorobela, the secrets that we were taught not to share with you guys, how we used to trick you guys, the spirits, how everything works when you go to a Sangoma for consultation, Yamatambo. So whether you believe in God or don't believe in God, please check out this channel so we can talk about it. If you believe in God, let's share the gospel. If you don't believe in God, you can check out the channel too. I want to hear your opinion and I want people to actually share their opinion, not insulting me without saying why. Thank you, and I'll see you on my channel.
As a church leader, your time and resources are limited. It's difficult to find discipleship and Bible study materials that are affordable, easily accessible, and high quality. But there is a way to equip the people in your church every day of the week without losing sleep. Welcome to Right Now Media, the world's largest library of video-driven Bible study resources, used by more than 20,000 churches, schools, and organizations. With a Right Now Media subscription, everyone in your church can access thousands of biblical resources for kids, couples, small groups, and more. Give your members access to great content, anytime, anywhere, on any device.
And God specifically says, the way you think, that's not the same way I think.
Equip and inspire everyone in your church beyond Sunday.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me right here in Solomon's Temple. My name is Solomon Izang Ashams. They call me Uncle Solomon. Feel free to do so also if you will. And it's so great to have you here. I hope you had or you're having a great day. It's evening here in Johannesburg. So I wonder what part of the time zone you were in. But it's so good to have you here. Boyd here is saying, good evening, Malume. That's good evening, Uncle, in any of the Nguni languages, either in Zulu or in Xhosa. Mongani is saying, good evening, Uncle Saul and all the Bereans. I really missed your broadcast. We had to bury our family member. Oh, condolences to you, Mongani, and your family members. May the Lord comfort you guys. It's difficult losing a loved one. Promise here, Uncle Solomon, good evening and watching you. I'm watching from Gauteng here in South Africa. Deborah from New Jersey in the US. Good to have you here. Sherry from Deutschland, from Germany, that is. From New York. Oh, it's afternoon in New York. Thank you, Peggy Ann. It's afternoon in New York. You see, we're all in different time zones. Isn't God amazing? Please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. A lot of you guys that are watching on Facebook, please connect on YouTube. It is important that we do so we can also have notifications when it's that time for a broadcast or whenever we upload a new video. So today we're digging into deeper life and television. Deeper life is just to give you a bit of a background. Deeper life was is one of the very first sort of like charismatic Pentecostal churches to come out of Nigeria. It was started by a guy called Pastor Kumuyi. This is Pastor Kumuyi here. He's very old today. He just turned 80. So he's been the leader right from day one. He was a mathematics lecturer at the university. So he started Bible study there in 1973. And in 1975, he was expelled from the Apostolic Faith Church because he started preaching on the Holy Spirit baptism, which is quite a great thing, but he was new to the church. So he was expelled. And in 1982, he officially started the Deeper Life Bible Church. Now, Deeper Life, for me, growing up in Nigeria, they used to have big crusades. Was it around Easter period? Yeah, I think around Easter period, right? And I remember they used to use a stadium in the city where I come from in Nigeria called Jos, in that Jos Township Stadium. I remember going to one of their crusades, I think, but I was so far because there were so many people. And they represented a lot. They contradicted a lot of the traditional churches in Nigeria, like the Methodists, the Baptists, the Catholics, the Anglicans. the cocaine, the equa, you name it, you know, because they fully believe in the leading of the Holy Spirit and all that. But one of the controversial areas, though, was the area of television. They told their members they shouldn't buy a television, they shouldn't own a television at home, they shouldn't even watch television. Why? Because it is the devil's tool. That's how far we've come, isn't it? And trust me, they're not the only ones that actually ban their members from televisions or see television as a devil's tool. You know, they're not the only ones. You know, uh, there are others who actually saw it that way globally, not just in Nigeria, but even in the US. So you can imagine how many years. So for about 40 years, they're not allowed to own television. I don't want to go into other areas of like not wearing makeup, not wearing earrings, because that's not what we're talking about today. But they also propagated that. So they're known for this extreme level of holiness, extreme level of righteousness, of public show of holiness, if you may. But in a meeting recently in the west of Nigeria, the founder himself, Pastor William Kumuyi, now spoke against it. He admitted that it was wrong for him to call television evil. Because now they're using television, isn't it? If you don't use television, or if you don't record your stuff and put on Facebook and all that, yeah, you'll be restricted. The innovation of television, when it came in, a lot of people thought, these people talking in a box is evil. Or they would see certain programs that obviously not glorifying God and call it evil. So instead of calling the content evil or the content unbiblical, they called the medium evil. And that's a mistake that we make. God gives us wisdom to innovate and to create technology. Creation of technology is a wisdom from God. It doesn't matter who created technology. Every human being, whatever your religion is, you have the wisdom of God, the gift of God inside of you to create. It all depends on what you create. Now, creation is not just it, but what sort of content you now put on that platform. So we now confuse the whole platform, the medium, to be evil instead of the content. So we stayed away from television for a long time. And William Kumuyi did that. And for me, he really has to apologize for so many people in the past that actually declared that medium television evil. They could have used it for the gospel. They could have used it for ideas. They could have used it for their business. They could have used it to learn for education. But 2 generations from that church missed it. Now he is saying and admitting that he was wrong for calling television evil. He's actually saying there's a huge need for us to use television and other technology to spread the gospel. But it took him so long. You can imagine what they would have achieved, not just as a church community, but as individuals. Some young people passed through that church. They had great ideas. If those ideas had been on platforms, it would bring opportunities and revolutionize how people think. It could change people and draw people to the gospel. So many things. So we must not call what we don't understand evil. We must not be quick to call it, because the church has done that for a long time. Now the church has become backwards. We're trying to catch up when it comes to technology. But in the Bible, technology is very evident. Technology is very evident in the Bible. Let's look at it. Cain built a city. How can you build a city if you didn't use the technology of the day then? In Genesis 4:17. He built a city. Tubal, Cain made things out of bronze and iron in Genesis 4:22. That's technology, pure technology. So the Bible, you have technology all through. Noah built an ark in Genesis 6. That was a technology of the day. To build an ark, do you know what it takes? They didn't have all these sophisticated machines and whatever to no. How about Genesis 11:1-9, where the people build the Tower of Babel? That is a high level of technology. Can we even try that today, to build a tower that is going up and into the sky? People. King Solomon built a temple, and that was just no ordinary temple. And let's even talk about Apostle Paul. He wrote letters to the church in Corinth, to the church in Galatia, to the church in Rome, to the church in Colossae, to the church in Ephesus. That's technology. But we seem to be playing catch up. And we must not just take technology and use it for preaching, but we must use it to create great content. One of the things I don't like seeing is churches just using television for preaching. Preaching is for the pulpit. Television has very little to do with preaching and teaching. So we mean we cannot create great content like dramas or documentaries that has Christian values and Christian messages in them. Are we restricting our creativity? I'm sure there are other churches even today that are doing certain stuff that you just feel, why do you have to put restriction on this? You don't understand the medium. Deborah here says restitution. It needs to be restitution. Andre says the one-eyed devil is what they call it. Yes, one-eyed devil, isn't it? What are some of the things you were taught and told that is evil within the congregation you were part of? But today it's a different ball game. So with the Deeper Life Church, should we say that was 40 years of wasted opportunity technologically? You can imagine. We're talking about a church that is on the cutting edge in the beginning. But we must be careful and really listen to what God is saying. We call this Christian, we call that non-Christian. Should we actually call this Christian and this is not non-Christian? No. We must not separate the secular from the sacred. The sacred and the secular is the same. It all depends on what you make of it. Thank you guys for watching. God bless you, and I'll catch you again in a bit. Make sure you subscribe. Shalom.